extra $7,000 saved up to install a well in her community to provide clean drinking water for kids.
Without that water, they had to walk over a mile every day. Like this, can you imagine the start of your school day? Instead of like getting into the books or having a discussion, you go get water, you fetch water because you otherwise wouldn't be able to live. So she made this tremendous impact by, stepping up. And I since have donated to her campaign. And I'm working with a company I met through the Platt Network, a company called Capital Pure, which is a filtration company, essentially, that uses aqueous chemistry and nanotechnology to filter and purify water. And I had this spark that what if we got that company to provide clean water to the El Salvadorian government and provide clean water to the people that way? I mean, there's still a lot of diligence to do on the whole thing, and it's a bit of a moonshot. What if we could do it,
When Ken thinks back to how he was just a few years ago, before the Big Bang, before starting his company, before joining the Tony Robbins Platinum Partnership and attending so many life-changing events, it makes him stop for a moment.
3 years ago, I wouldn't have even thought about other people to that extent. I mean, like I said, it was work and then family. I don't want to paint the brush, by the way, that like I was a horrible person at home. Like I think I was a good father, but it was different. It was just different. 3 years ago, I guess my heart wasn't as big. It was a little bit more like the Grinch, but then the Grinch's heart at some point grew. Kind of took, I think, the Tony ride a little bit to make that happen.
And it's a good thing Ken's heart grew because his two little girls take up a lot of space, and they challenge him in ways he never imagined.
They also caused me to elevate my game. This weekend, I hadn't seen him in a little while, like a month. I said, Mia, how'd I do this weekend? What do you think? I put a lot into it. I hope it paid off. And she said, she gave me an A, which I thought was pretty cool. Then she said, but not an A+, Dad. And I said, how come? And she said, well, you were a little grumpy on Sunday morning when you were trying to rush us out of the house to get to church. A good friend of mine actually told me last night, thank God you didn't get an A+. She's causing you to step up. She's causing you to raise the bar. And so I hope I never get an A+. A is pretty good, though. I'm patting myself on the back for that. It feels like we're building a platform for something really great. And I'm looking forward to watching it unfold. I mean, none of us know when we're going to be gone, tomorrow or next day or hopefully 50, 100 years. I mean, I don't know, but I guess I'm just happy for now and happy that I have things to look forward to. Christmas morning, I mean, just seeing their eyes light up every Christmas when they come down the stairs and turn the corner and see what Santa dropped off. Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to right now and seeing them again.
You're listening to the Force for Good season of the Tony Robbins podcast. To learn more about the 10 gifts that we're featuring this holiday season, including emotion, drive, growth, joy, gratitude, connection, consciousness, grace, presence, and forgiveness, please visit www.tonyrobbins.com/gifts, GIFTS. And to find Tony Robbins products and events that can help you identify your gifts, go to tonyrobbins.com/shop, SHOP. As you just heard in the previous story, presence is the most important element of any relationship. How you show up, really show up, for the people you care about is how they perceive or even measure your love for them. Listen as Tony works one-on-one with Tim, a business owner in Australia, who's struggling with the same problem. He's stressed out about his work, and it's affecting his relationship.
The bottom line is he's been focused on his fears and not on his love. And then his love would then have fears that would come out of that. Because she would feel uncertain about, like, am I important enough to him? Because in any relationship, the most important thing to someone is, are they the most important thing? If someone else is more important, man or woman, child, friend, someone else that attracts you, that relationship's in trouble. If work is more important, that relationship's in trouble. If your girlfriends are more important, if sports are more important, In a relationship, that person needs to know they're the most important thing in life. But the reason is not because he doesn't love her. It's not because he no longer cares as much. Because he's still trying to become somebody that's worthy of all the things he wants. And because he doesn't feel he's that, he's putting his energy there instead of with you. It isn't because he doesn't love you. It isn't because he doesn't want to be with you. It's because he doesn't feel enough inside, because he lives in a culture that has trained us all that we're not enough until we do a certain number of things, earn a certain way, achieve a certain level so that we're enough. Because we live in consumer cultures in Western culture. Nothing wrong with it, but it tends to make us focus on what we fear more instead of what we love. How do you feel when you're focused on what you love? Come on, guys, make a sound. How do you feel? But what we need to do is figure out what you love today, because some of you don't even know anymore because you've had the habit of thinking the same way for so long. He thinks that if he gets a certain level within his business, a certain level of freedom, a certain level of economics, a certain level of success in that piece, then he'll be enough, he'll feel great enough, everything will be wonderful, they can go do all these beautiful things that they originally intended to do and be together. But when he gets there, it won't be enough. How many of you have ever had something you worked your ass off for, and then you finally made it happen, and you were really excited, really, it was an incredible victory? How many can remember a time like this? Come on, if you got one, make some noise so I hear you out there. Woo! Think about this. How long did that good feeling last? 6 years? 6 months? 60 days? How long did you stay in that really amazing state? How long did it take to get to achieve that? How many years or efforts or decades? And then how long did it feel good for? Tell me yours. What's one you can remember that was really cool?
I got stores opened up in China and had a drink with my dad and was like, yes, we did it. And then the next day I was like, okay, next.
The next day? Okay. How many of you, think about it, how long did you stay high from the achievement? How many stayed high for a year? Okay, 6 months, 3 months, a month, couple of weeks. The majority of you are in the couple of days, couple of more hours. Some of you a few weeks, some very few of you 6 months. So the point of the matter is, the only purpose of achieving your goals is not to achieve your goals, is so that you become more, because what you become is what makes you happy, not what you get. Because most people have this game, someday, someone, somewhere, someplace, and then I'm gonna be happy. The road to someday leads to a town called nowhere. Because you've seen it, you've gone to the someday, you've made it to the someday. How many of you got things in your life right now that once were a dream or goal, and they're magnificent? How many got some things like that in your life? Relationship, business, something that's different, and yet how many of you take it for granted, honestly? Not consciously, just like him. Is he trying to take his wife